what you think about interests for like movies, TV shows, podcasts, vlogs, YouTube videos? You think them important and necessary?
And I think, I don't know. What do I think? Are they important? Yes and no.
I mean, for me, yeah, it's like the interest at the tone of the, like I said, the tone of the entertainment we are consume. So you have a good intro, you captivate the audience in like the first 30 seconds, and yeah, it's basically like you anyway, if you keep them attention. So
Mm.
intro for I think just all over the place it seems, but nah, this
Um,
isn't a vlog, this is a podcast. So to everybody who's
but
listening,
yeah.
welcome back to Inside. Ashani is here with me again, and tonight we're going to like continue that discussion about Roe versus Wade for a little bit. I mean, we were talking about this last week, and um, I'd say there have been some developments, and
A lot of the developments.
yeah, there have been some protests, but I haven't seen protests on the level that I expected it to be on. But there have been some protests, and we've seen the same things like with the whole, the whole gun situation and all that. But my thing is, what's been upsetting me the most about this whole Roe versus Wade thing is that you're literally telling the person what they can't do with their own body. So, for example, it's like you telling a person, "Oh, you're not allowed to wear your hair a certain type of way," or if you want to put a tattoo on your body, you can't do that because it's against the law. I mean, it's your body; you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to do with it. I think that choice is up to the person. It's not about me being for abortion or against abortion. I just think a person should have the right to choose what they can and cannot do with their own body.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't.
It's just how it is.
It's just how it is, but I don't believe there should be legislation put in place to tell me that okay, I can't do this with my body. If anything, they should make it illegal for people to be trans-able. People are decapitating their legs, making themselves crippled and all that shit to say that they're disabled. Now they say that they're trans-able. If people can
You what?
become trans-able, transgender, or whatever other trans it is, then they should be able to have an abortion if they want to. It's like their body. So if you're letting them do all that other stuff with their bodies, what's so wrong? If somebody wants to stop, you know, they want to have an abortion. Mistakes happen, and they want to, stop this process before it gets any further. It's really upsetting to me because if it's just really upsetting to me. I don't even want to say if I was a woman because I guess I would never truly know what it's like. But yeah, what do you think the Democrats are really gonna do about this though?
React late, probably as usual. Um, I don't really think they have a plan to do anything actually. Because what is it that they're going to do? You hear that? What's the other side? Republican, whoever is for this abortion thing, they well against it. I mean, they are like removing Plan Bs from shelves or planning to do that.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Yeah, that's another step that they're going to take to like remove the Plan B. I'm like, really?
Yeah, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what they plan to do. Because if them go as far for you know prevent a person from having an abortion, and the real thing is, this is all about saving white lives. Because
The Trump lady.
yeah, the lady that was at the Trump rally basically. It's not even that she said it as a mistake. That she said what she meant to say.
She meant what she said. And the people were applauding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cheering her like, yeah, 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 let's save white lives, blah blah blah, And what I take from that, I guess they came about abortion as a way to kill the black population, but now it's backfiring on them. They want to go ahead and say, okay, it's now illegal. But yeah, I don't really want to spend too much time on that. We've talked about it a lot. I guess we could just keep an eye on the topic as it develops. But what I can say is that I expected more protests than what is happening now, and
Yeah, I think
the
there was still some happening even earlier today
it
or
should
yesterday
it should
for
still it should
example.
still be happening. That's the thing. It should continue happening. People need to let their voices be heard. And the thing is, like, if you're saying that you're against abortion, that is fine. You have that right. If you don't want to have an abortion, then don't have an abortion. But don't put your lifestyle or your choices on somebody else. You get what I'm saying? That's the real issue here.
But yeah, hopefully something happens in terms of I don't know, gets overturned, be overturned,
Mm-hmm.
and you know women can stop being oppressed. I guess I mean it's been happening since time begins. Like they've been told what to do, how to do it, how to speak, how to stand, whatever, and it's just like it's 2022. Like we can't just stop messing around already.
I mean, I don't think saying it's 2022 is really gonna change anything because when it's 2050 or 2092, we're still gonna face oppression in just different ways, but it's still gonna exist. Like, I don't think that's gonna
Yeah,
change anytime soon. Like, doesn't
like
matter what year it
people are
is.
just hoping, that as the years pass, people will get smarter
They don't.
or have something called compassion. But I guess that's just too much to hope for.
The thing is, they don't get smarter. I mean, if you look at the human race, technically we're evolving,
You're devolving, you're not
but
evolving.
no, no. I said technically we're evolving, but that's what I was coming around to. Like, when you check it, like, our life expectancy goes down decade over decade, or with each new generation, the life expectancy goes down. You know,
Yeah, it's weird. I know this wasn't one of the topics, but you realize, like you just said, life expectancy like decreases as the human race continues.
mm-hmm.
Um, but you realize that when it comes to like pharmaceuticals, right, and like vitamins and take this and take that, they are going around like saying your body can't consume the necessary vitamins just from the food you eat, right? But years ago, I mean like years ago, when we were living off just the things that we grow and the animals that we raise and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
without all the chemicals and all the this stuff involved in it, people are living way past like 90 and 100.
What I think um has happened, and this is just a theory based off the top of my head. What I think is happening is that because we consume so much of these processed foods, these fast foods, it has poisoned our body so that we can't really absorb all the nutrients and vitamins that we should be able to from the foods that we eat. So we have to substitute it with supplements.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking along. Because like for a long time I've just been thinking, yo, it's like the medical industry. I know
Mm-hmm.
that includes pharmaceuticals, but like pharmaceuticals and like the food industry kind of like are one and the same, meaning that they're just like whatever they want to push to sell, whatever drugs they want to sell, one will just advertise it. Because if you think about it, we have like at one point they were saying drink milk. You remember like when we were younger, right? There was this like a lot of commercials about milk
Yeah.
for no reason. It was just like a ton of commercials about drinking milk, drinking milk, stay in school, and then couple of years after it like died down and it wasn't pushed so much. because like people find out that you can get calcium way better from different things.
I
It's
think
just
it's
like
weird though that humans are the only species that drink milk in adulthood, right? We're the only species that, as adults, we still drink milk and we consume the milk of another animal. That shit is just
yeah, that's
weird to
weird.
me when I think about it.
Multiple other animals too, because they drink goat milk in some countries.
Yeah, nah, we drink goat milk out here too. They say that it's more nutritious than cow
Eh,
milk and it has more calcium
eh.
than cow milk. So I'm just saying is that no other species does it. You don't see a lion going over to an elephant and sucking on its tits, or going over to a cow and sucking on its nips for milk. You don't see that shit. But you notice that I introduced you on this podcast, but I didn't introduce myself as a host. Hey everybody, I'm Nick, by the way, just in case you forgot. So, so yeah,
So
yeah. I always forget to introduce myself. I introduce you as my co-host, but I never really introduced myself. So, life expectancy, as we said, is decreasing with each new generation. But what I've noticed, like something I've noticed that has been happening, like currently, is that it seems like globally the world is facing another recession. And that's a bad thing, you know, depending on how you look at it, but it can also be a good thing. Each economy in the world, in my opinion, is suffering in different ways, right? Including Jamaica. And the Jamaican economy has been shot for a while. And I think now is the time for it to recover. I think now is the time for Jamaica to start pouring in funds, investing in itself to get ahead of the curve, so that when the world starts to restabilize, Jamaica can be at the forefront and have a stable, functioning economy where people can work for and be paid a livable wage, and we can get rid of this whole minimum wage shit, because that's bullshit in my opinion. Let's talk about that for a sec. What you think about it being like mandatory in Jamaica for each and every company, no matter what kind of work you do, for you to be paid a livable wage?
we are 7 years away. No, yeah, 7 years away. 7 years, 5 months away from Vision 2030, according to the government. Where
Get that
Jamaica
get
should be a place to raise a family
get that vision
or
out of your head.
live a high, right?
Get that vision out of your head, because it's never gonna happen with the current governments that we have. PNP, JLP,
No,
they ain't doing shit for us. It's never gonna
but
happen. Go ahead.
that started from like how long ago now?
I think that started
Like
from
over
probably like 2009.
2009, 8, 9, around that.
Yeah,
And
it's
since
been
I've
over a
left,
decade, and
it's gotten worse
yeah,
since I've left in 3 years, and I don't see how they are going to get anywhere near that. So, in terms of our companies paying a livable wage in Jamaica is around
80,000.
90, I would say,
No,
90 to 100,
nah, 80.
because no, because it depends on what you consider livable in what area you're in,
Yeah, but the livable
right?
wage would be the starting point. If you're qualified to get a higher paying job, then that's it. And I think $80,000 as a livable wage for, like, remember, the middle class, and it is the sector that pretty much pays for most things in any economy, right? So I think in a middle class home, like, lower middle class, 80,000, should be fine. But, like, upper middle class, maybe more. And I guess those people will probably be qualified to, get those jobs that pay a bit extra. But I think for, like, starting out point, I think 80,000 a month could be, sufficient if you're working in a supermarket, you work 80 hours a fortnight, you getting paid $40,000 for 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if you work on the garbage truck or whatever. I think something like that should be the minimum. And it
What
has.
is
Go ahead.
minimum for private sector workers?
The minimum for
Oh,
private sector workers. All right,
yeah,
it's not like, say, you said private sector.
yeah.
I was thinking of public sector just now. It's
No. So
$10,000
that's
a week, I think. So
ten
that's
a week
$40,000 a month.
for private
Yeah,
because they shouldn't that be more because they recently cut the benefits and said they were increasing the pay, which was a shit
that's
increase
what they
by the way.
increased it to. I think it was increased from 7 or 8 thousand to 10,000 a week, which is crap. So you're doubling it.
Still garbage.
Yeah. So if you're doubling it now to like 80,000 a month, right? Basically,
Yeah.
people have more money to spend, and also there's more money going back into the economy. What I think is that the government needs to start investing in Jamaican businesses, and
That's not gonna happen.
that's what they need to do. For example, if they get a contract, right, to build a highway, build a new road, I don't know, to put up some government building or whatever, stop outsourcing these jobs to a
They're
Chinese
not
company.
going to. They're not going to.
Hmm?
They're not going to.
That's the problem.
It's way cheaper to outsource it
In the
for
short
them,
term,
not for the country, but for them.
in the
And
short term, it is.
that's all they're thinking about is them.
Yeah, in the short term, it would be cheaper, but in the long term, it would be more beneficial to give those jobs to Jamaican citizens and to put that money back into the economy.
You see, but you're thinking about a government that cares about its people. That's what you're thinking about. What we have is a government that is selfish and reactive to whatever happens.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that is part of the problem. I wish we had a different government. I wish we had some laws in place that if a government goes into power and they say a specific member in their cabinet is not performing after 2 years of being in power, then they should be replaced and fired from their job because it is a job that was given to them by the people. And I think we as Jamaicans should push for like laws for that so that they can do their jobs and work harder for the people because most of these politicians, they just get a job and they collect a big check and they steal whatever they can off the top, put whatever they can in their pocket and think about themselves and
I
don't
can't,
really care about anybody else.
and I can't even really blame them 100% because we are at fault too. I said we because I'm Jamaican. I am the people that actually vote. Right? According to some people, if you don't vote, you don't have a say. But yeah, from that, the people that vote for the government are the same people that every single time you show them a different like you try to explain the situation to them whether they are like green or they're orange, which are the two parties. They basically just stand 10 toes down in their wrong on whichever side that they're on,
Hmm.
and that's the most annoying part that you can show each of them how both sides are doing rubbish, but they are going to acknowledge that and then point to the other side and say they are doing rubbish instead of trying to like find a different party to like look at their policies, look at what they want to do, look at
Hmm.
how they want to govern, look at the things that they want to like push for, things like that to help. And it's just annoying, and I can't deal with Jamaican politics because I can't deal with politics in general, but Jamaica is where I'm from, and that's the most annoying part. Even the whole weed situation that we've been harping on for how long now, and states in America, Canada, all over the world, weed is becoming legal slower and slower, but it's becoming legal. And the fact that it's becoming legal in other places other than Jamaica is probably the most annoying thing you can
Mm-hmm.
have. And it's just coupled with the fact that they sell Jamaican brand, the government, right? They sell Jamaican brand, which is probably one of the most profitable brands that you have
Mm-hmm.
in terms of a country. Like if you put Jamaica or the flag on certain products, it literally flies off the shelf regarding if you're in the States, in Canada, or in other different parts of the world, even over here in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to reggae music, when it comes to dancehall, when it comes to Rastafarian, when it comes to anything relating to like the core part of Jamaica, the government just goes, yeah, we don't want no part of that. They don't want to like, what's the word? They don't want to be involved. Is the best way I can put it. They don't want to be a part of that image in terms of them personally or them
Mm-hmm.
promoting it, but they will go out and I'm not I'm not trying to like put say nothing bad about Shensia, but they will go out and promote a Shensia pop album or something else that has to do with America, and it's just like the government itself, whether it's TMP, JLP, whatever the other ones are, they just don't have the best interest at heart for the country itself or for the people. All they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about is just basically how much money can I earn? Is my retirement good? Would my kids be okay? Because their children aren't even educated in Jamaica for the most part. I don't think any of them are actually. Either they are private tutored, and those private tutors are not Jamaican. They are from the states, somewhere else, or they send them abroad to go to school and it's or they send if they send them to school in Jamaica, it's a private school that is not a Jamaican private school. It's like an American private school or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think you have a couple of them um, over in I can't remember where, but it's near JC side over there, and it's it just shows that they don't really care about the country. They don't care what happens to it in general.
Mm-hmm.
They just sell what they want to sell, earn what they want to earn, and just make sure that their family is good, their politician friends are good, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, and I get that, and that is a big part of the problem, and I get that on both sides. It's not good. PMPGFD not good. But what I'm hoping for, what I would like to see, is for them to use this pandemic, this global recession, to their advantage. For example, airlines globally are crashing. Staff are quitting because of underpay,
I don't think
long
we
work
own any
hours.
airlines.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the whole air control, air traffic,
Yeah,
customer service agents at the airport. I'm talking about customs, security, everything that is involved in the operation of an airport and um, flights and all of that. It's
yeah,
pretty much a shit show right now globally. And I'm saying it's even affecting us out here because we saw where air traffic control went on strike in Jamaica. But I'm saying if they can
really?
get, yeah, it happened. And for I think like 2 days, there were no flights coming in or going out of Jamaica. I think for two and a
Oh,
half, maybe 3 days. And it's been happening in other countries. It's been happening in Florida. It's been happening in London, in Britain. It's been happening all over. But what I'm saying, if these people can get their head out of their ass and get ahead of this, and how they would get ahead of this is start paying people properly and start hiring a lot of people to fill these positions, because remember, a lot of people got laid off when COVID started, because people weren't
mm-hmm.
flying and all that. So they need to start rehiring at a rapid pace. Make sure that they select the right people for the job, yes, but also they need to pay these people properly so that people aren't unsatisfied with their job and they are not unhappy with their job. And what that will do is make Jamaica the place to travel, because if everywhere you're going at the world, right, them have problem with flight and we have a smooth thing going, then everybody that just want to come to Jamaica. That means more tourists come into Jamaica, more foreign currency come into Jamaica, more money gets spent, more money goes into the economy. And it's like they find it hard to make that investment, just to pay the persons a little bit more. But they have no problem in taking money from us, the people, and put it in their pockets, right? They have no problem taking the taxes that we pay, put it in their pockets for their own benefit, but something that's going to benefit the country, in the long term. They find it so difficult to do. And I was thinking today, like, another way I think this country could generate income from tax revenue is that, in Jamaica we have like a lot of so-called squatters, right?
Yep.
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, maybe 500,000 to 1,000,000. But for argument's sake, let's say we have a total of 500,000 squatters in Jamaica. If the government would just go around, make the investment, survey all of these properties that the persons are on, provide them with lot numbers, and say, okay, this is your lot number for this property that you've been living on for the past 10 years, 20 years, however long it is, and provide them with a deed or a title, and say, okay, we're going to start paying your taxes for this property that you're living on, right? On average, I think it's probably $10,000 a year for property taxes, depending on the size of your property and the location. But say we'll go with 10,000 for argument's sake. 10,000 times 500,000, that's $5 billion. Them would I get extra in the economy, what them not get now. But because them have to make the investment for the severe and the upfront costs, they're not going to want to do it. And I'm saying if they would make these sacrifices, the country would be in a better place. Because these communities that are called squatters communities, they can be developed. A lot of them have the potential to be developed. And if they say, okay, they start collecting property taxes from these people, soon they can put in infrastructure for road, water, garbage collection, so that these communities can be kept clean and the country in a whole can be cleaner. We can have better air, better oxygen to breathe, instead of people always burning their garbage. Their garbage can be properly collected and disposed of and recycled and all of that. Recycling is also a thing that I think the country needs to invest in, because we have a lot of plastic. So they're not making the necessary investments. And if they would make these investments and actually stick to them, yeah, it's not gonna be easy, at the beginning. Nothing that's worth, doing or having never come easy. So if they would just start these initiatives and stick to them over time, it would be a big payoff to the country and a lot of money would be generated. Because, say for example, they start recycling, like doing mass recycling, a lot of this plastic that is going in the ocean wouldn't end up there, would have more fish. So the fishermen them would not have to go far out to catch fish and all of that. You get me? The coral reef them would have be cleaner, would have prettier beaches, cleaner beaches. More tourists are coming for beaches as well, because some places where I go right now, the beaches them in a deplorable condition, and they're not taking these simple things seriously to say, okay, they need to invest in these things, clean up downtown and all of these things. Like, I think downtown has the potential to even be like a hip spot or a hit spot, somewhere you could go to party and do it safely or go out for a drink. I think it has a potential for that, but the government is not investing in security for downtown, so people don't feel safe down there.
Yeah, it's just downtown is a pipe bomb. I didn't even go there that often. I literally went there. Anytime I went there, I went there to do one thing and then left. I didn't even occupy the university any period of time.
Yeah,
But like,
that's fine.
I've been wondering if, because you were talking about the squatters thing, I wonder if adverse possession is a thing in Jamaica.
What do you
And
mean by
what
that?
would So basically, there was this story. 2013, there was this story, right? Of this Florida man who squatted in a multi-million-dollar mansion,
Hmm.
for 7 years, and he basically claimed adverse possession, which
Yeah,
basically
they
means
can't.
since he's been paid taxes, he now owns
Yeah,
the house and all that.
they can't kick him out.
Yeah. So
Like
I'm
once
wondering how that would work.
it's the same thing in Jamaica. Every person that is considered as squatters has squatters' rights. That is a thing that exists in Jamaica. Once you live on a piece of property or you live in a building that has been abandoned for a certain period of time, you have all claims to that property, you know? And if you start paying taxes for it, then legally it's yours. That's what I'm saying. If they would invest in the severing of the property so that these people can get the lot number, the people would go ahead and pay the taxes and then they can get money from that, because right now they're not benefiting from it at all. This is a way that will benefit both the government, because more taxes, and also benefit the population because they say, okay, I have this title to this land now, I feel more
Yeah.
secure. But
Yep. So people, if you're listening, if you're squatting on a land, just do the necessary, research, find the paperwork, find the lot number, find the history and all that. See how much the taxes are. Don't be telling it to people. Just your friends, make them do the same thing.
I mean, it's a
Pay some
known
tax
thing.
on it for a couple of years. You see, because I know the thing is, you think people know this in terms of laws, but a
All
lot
right,
of people probably don't know.
all right. Here's the thing. It's a known thing, but the problem is there's not a streamlined process to get this done. They doing anything in Jamaica when you have to go to like a government place. It's never straightforward,
Yeah,
to
no,
be
it's
honest.
it's like a lot of ups, down, left, right, rescheduling this, sign this. Yeah, I know the process is like it doesn't make any sense because they literally make it hard for you.
Hmm. And they need to fix that.
Yeah, and another thing is that they tend to use lawyer terms when doing these things. So you might want to just, if you don't understand something, don't just say yes and just try Google it, try
Definitely.
simplify it
That's
because
what I'm saying. If they
they
could,
literally just, yeah.
as I'm saying, like if they could, step in, assist the people, make the process more easy and streamlined. Go to these people home, do a survey, sit down, talk to them, and like y'all, I don't know, go in the communities, have a meeting with them, and then y'all decide, okay, we're gonna come on this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, because that's when most Jamaicans are at home,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can start, surveying the property and say, okay, your property is such and such acres. You have 2 lots on this property, so your tax are gonna be 2 lot for 2 lots or 1 lot or whatever, isn't it? But they
Yeah.
need to make the move so that's the people them can follow and them just make the thing a lot easier. Because a lot of money can generate from this, and if you have 1 million squatters in Jamaica, that's a $10 billion minimum. We never did I get. We now I get fuel back into the economy on an annual basis. And we can have Jamaica develop to a way where we don't have these shanty towns anymore. Where we don't have these communities where, it look deplorable, because if people are paying their taxes, then they have to put roads in these places, proper road, proper water infrastructure and all of that, you get me? So
I think about the water structure because we only have one water company, and that's why. Well, one water
we
company,
have
one
one.
light company. What
Exactly.
what what is that?
They're trying to give us option. It's like honest travel, but
Because
I think that's the case in most Caribbean countries. I don't think a lot of them have options when it comes down to utilities. It's like one water
no,
company, one
talking
light
about
company.
other countries.
I'm just saying the governments in the Caribbean, are a bit slow.
You know what? I just thought about too. Why is it that we have so many Jamaicans leaving yearly for farm work, yet still we have so many farmers in Jamaica with crops dying each year?
Why the crops are dying?
Why are there so many Jamaicans leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
To do farm work
Mm-hmm.
specifically. But then we have so much land in Jamaica to do farm work,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the farm work that is being done, there are a lot of crops dying because people aren't buying them, or we aren't out in word exporting them.
Yeah,
It's the weird situation. It's like,
and
why don't
that's
we
a
just
fact.
hire the people to do the farm work that we are sending away,
It goes back.
pay them good, and then just export the things that they would have been farming when they leave.
It goes back to paying people a livable wage. And I think I should clarify that statement. We should pay persons a livable wage, you know, as pertaining to their career field. And I think the starting point should be 80,000 a month. Starting point. Depending on your career, it may be more. You get me? But I don't think it should be any less. They're not paying these farmers enough. Like farmer them now get paid, you know, a certain amount of money. So it's just not gonna be worth it. That's why the country has so much brain drain. And what I don't think the government gets is that if they make the investment and say, okay, we're gonna start paying every Jamaican citizen a livable wage, you know what that means? A lot more Jamaican citizens can afford to spend more money with merchants and put more money back into these local businesses. You get what I'm saying? So
Like,
more money them have to spend
right.
it. It's more money them have to spend with the local businesses, which are gonna increase the profits of these businesses. We are gonna make it also sustainable for them to keep paying their employees at this rate. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be tough in the beginning. Definitely, it's going to be. But I think some of these politicians can definitely take a pay cut and make this a possibility. But they're not going to want to do that. They're gonna
Dude
want to.
had a $5 million phone bill. Of
The
course they could.
Exactly, and I think we need to have laws that prevent stuff like that from happening. There's no way that the taxes that us citizens pay should ever be going towards going towards the phone bill of any politician. They should be paying that out of their salary. Your personal phone bill is not the responsibility of Jamaican citizens to pay. And I think that's just outrageous. Like, why we foot that bill there? When we buy a credit from Digicel, we have to pay it back. You get me? And you're gonna have a $30,000 phone bill, a $10,000 phone bill. Like, for what? But we have services like WhatsApp, we have Viber, Telegram. We have so many means of communicating with people from long distances. And you're telling me that you're running up a phone bill for what reason? And then we supposed to pay a fee.
Phone bill not even a benefit the country.
Because all these people them are call if they make deals, it's like them make them are make bad deals basically where I have some negative implications upon the country. The other
Poor deal.
make yes them so them are gonna raise the toll again. Why? Because gas price are go up. Like, oh no, I use gas on the toll for run the toll.
Well, John Noah.
I
No,
mean,
wait. I know the other day, I think a couple years ago, just for some reason, my brother did buy like shares
in a highway 2000.
in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just been run poorly. So, and nobody not the money for going nowhere. So it's like, nobody not use the highway that much.
Exactly. If
And
you
they might,
look
be, they might blame everything from COVID and stuff.
if you look at it, the transportation industry I take a hit right now because for most jobs that can be done from home are being done from home, even including
Yeah.
government jobs, jobs in the health industry, definitely customer service. People who can work from home are being urged to work from home. So not a lot more people are traveling. I know as we approach summer where schools are closing, the students
Yeah.
not travel. So the
But
taxi man them are gonna feel it, the bus driver them are gonna feel it. And on top of that, you are gonna raise toll when most of them use, upon them road, for example, from Portmore to Kingston or Portmore to Harford,
Yeah.
them use the toll all the
It's like
time.
a busy route.
You get me? It's a busy route for them coaster bus there.
To go Spain.
Yeah. And the Spain coaster them love do it. Them go up on the toll for any reason. Them can go up on the toll so some can charge the people more. Right now, from Spanish Town to Harford or downtown, a 150 on a coaster, right? But you see the Harford bus them not like drive the normal route. Every chance them get, them go toll and them charge the people them 200 or 250 for go Harford. That a madness. Mad, especially early morning when people forgot work. Chaos of Spanish Town, I tell you.
I mean, I thought the way them are gonna make the most money and then probably can them are gonna get to it enough because people just want to reach our work because they know say if them not reach work, a problem with the boss and all them things if them reach late. All this late.
Them also are gonna get away with it because we have a lackadaisic police forces where not uphold the laws in the right way. You know say this bus not supposed to dep on the toll because it's not them route. But you know say on out there ticket them if you use the toll. No. But them ticket the taxi man them more. You know say them not ticket the bus driver them no, but them see stuff like this happen where I trickle back down upon the citizens and I impact them negatively. Can you imagine some people make 10 grand a week and them have to pay 2 bills, 250 for one transportation to get for their work. And sometimes in Jamaica people take 2 methods of transportation to get to work, right?
Yeah.
And
I think that's for the government workers. Them have a bus for themselves. People them who are earning like less than that. You have to like there's enough people that earn probably like less than 5 a week.
Not all government workers even get to travel on the bus because in every government sector them have a bus for them, isn't it?
Yeah,
so the government on a whole them a drag them feet and them Andrew Dana power for 2 term, well basically 3 term. I'm gonna say
sure? Wait. 3 longer.
like 3 term now. Because him take over from Bruce Cullen. You see me? And I think at that point Bruce Cullen did Dana. I think he did Dana power. And then Andrew did finish last year. And then I think PMP did win. And then I think JLP come back. I not quite remember. And then from JLP win back, I just them in a power. And at minimum him there in there for 8 years straight, right? But it feel like at 12, but I'm gonna say 8 for argument's sake, because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Like 12.
And I not really see the major improvements when bring to the country or the economy since him hold a position here as Prime Minister. Like, if you know of something when do which was significant where you say, okay, this was a good move by the Prime Minister and this really put Jamaica in a one good position, and I can see how this are going to have a positive impact on the country in the next 5 to 10 years, then by all means enlighten me, let me know.
There's been nothing that he has done at all.
So it make me wonder like where we are do this for, like why we are put them people in a power, like the whole, we talk about this all the time and me in our personal time, so the whole political system need for reform in Jamaica. You need for just dash way and them come with some new people. I see none of the current politicians, then we need some new people who actually care about the people. And
if that happening, it's just like a continue the same way, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said this on the last episode of the podcast, but I feel like as the world get modernized is like as we move into this, modern era, fully embrace this 21st century, is like more of our human rights are being stripped away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Not just man or woman, is like both sides. Like cast a gender out the window that not nothing to do with it. It's as human beings is like it seems like soon we can't go make certain simple decisions. You get what I'm saying? And I think like people,
Mm-hmm.
well, us as a nation, we need to get more involved in our politics. And what I mean by that is that people need to actually start that debate. Or, like when them have them press conference and them have this open discussion at them party. Because what me see happening in Jamaica, is like them keep a rally and the politician them go up on stage and chat a bag of foolishness, make a bag of empty promises, and there's nobody to question them and say, oh, you say you're going to create 10,000 jobs in the next 4 years while in the power. How do you plan to achieve that? And there's nobody ask them question there. So I think we need to get more involved and we need to start press these politicians more when them have them rally here to get more information from them, and they will actually find out if them have a plan for do something or if them just talk out of them ass. Probably them not have a plan. that I really that's a truth. And I think them are gonna have a plan to solve whatever issues the country face.
The country is facing too many issues.
But
Sorry.
and may I say right now, at the perfect time for them turn this tide around right now, because what we can say is that it's not Jamaica alone face it with economical constraints right now. So we have a chance to say, alright, get our economy fixed so that in the next 5 years, when the world start really fully recover from this pandemic, we can at least be one of the countries who say, alright, we are make improvement year over year. We can see how where the economy are grow, more jobs are get created. We can see where the dollar are gain power. I long to see the dollar go under 100 US now. So under 100 Jamaican dollar for one US. I long to see that day again.
That would be the day. That would be the day.
I rem-
Anytime I have Twitter page, then
I remember
bring it up.
I remember when it happened, when the dollar went past 100. So PMP was in power at the time, and Porsche deliberately made deals and moves to devalue the Jamaican dollar to attract investors. And it would have worked, and the thing is the economy was supposed to recover from that. It would have worked, but then she lose the following election, JLP took over. It get worse. It was like a whole shit show after. And this is thing is like us as citizens need to see the longer or the broader vision. And also them politicians need to be able to, explain them plan, put it in a layman term so that the people can really understand and have a good comprehension of what's happening. Because I think that our make people make the wrong decision when choosing like leaders for the country, because out of ignorance we don't really understand what going on. We end up make the wrong decision and vote for the
That's
wrong
a
people.
big problem. That's a big reason why people just make the wrong decision. And also, like we did say, each side just wants to see their side do the right thing. That people who support PMP want to see PMP do the right thing, and then be the ones who make the decisions that take them out of poverty or whatever. Same thing with the JLP side. They want to see like Andrew or whoever it is that's leading the JLP do the right thing. It's not about them just want to see the right thing being done. It has to be this person from this side of the fence that is doing the right thing, and that's just like a. Then I see how that gonna stop, because
Personally,
just like ignorance is just a thing that is just heavy right now.
personally, I don't care
And
which one of them I do the right thing, as long as one of them I do the right thing. If at least one of them did I do the right thing, then I wouldn't mind.
one, none, somebody new, Bob from down the street. I don't really care as long as someone starts something. And that's the other thing too. It's always like one artist starts something, it goes like some way forward, and it looks like it's gonna work, and then
The
it
next,
switch, that plan scrap, and then a new plan start,
exactly,
and it just continue.
exactly, and that the problem in the politics, right? Yes, to say okay, the other party starts something, and it even though them say oh, it can be a good thing, because of fit them ego, them say all right,
Yeah.
we not care about that. We are get rid of that completely, and we are the our thing, cause we want it our way, and that the problem with people on a whole, cause it not just happen in a Jamaica society, it happen in America. Prime example. I don't remember the story exactly, but you remember when I tell you about the something with global warming, and it's like the US I revoke some laws for I don't remember what the organization name, but them responsible for global warming, for environmental change in the US, and it's like they went ahead and revoke certain legislation were put in place to make sure say alright, we have a team of people who are do research on global warming and climate change and can assist us for make the right decisions for make our environment better. The Supreme Court just went ahead and scrapped all of that the other day. And I try to find the information. I was watching it the other day on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
Was it an EPA thing?
Yeah, that's it. Supreme.
Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah. For this article right here, it says Supreme Court restricts the EPA's authority to mandate carbon emissions or reductions. So,
An NPR.
yeah, on NPR. That's what I was looking at. So, things like this is just stupid because the Supreme Court basically in the US, from what I understand, it's packed with a bunch of Republican senates, and them want scrap the new Green Deal that the Democrats put in to replace it with for them own thing. Like, my mind just baffled upon like
What I
how
always
human
say?
works.
Yeah, humans are weird. I always say that if you are in a country, this is how I think a government should set up once they're making decisions. There should be like, let's say, 11 persons on a board, right? Only 10 of them are known. Like, that's like, in terms of like government making decisions, if you have like a board, right, a committee, things like that, there should be 11 people in my head. You have 5 from one side, and then 5 from the other side, right? So if you have equal, and then you have one person that's the 11th person, but neither side knows who that person is. Only like the Supreme Court or whatever court of justice is in that country. But that person should be like a neutral party. Like, in the event that both sides can't come to agreement, that person is the sway vote basically, or the swing vote, to choose whichever. And keeping like their identity hidden would prevent, I mean, they probably
So,
will still find out either way, but it would prevent like bribes or shit like that from happening.
alright, so basically, I say, in the case of like the Supreme Court, the Democrats should have 5 senates, Republicans have 5 senates, and then there's one that's neutral.
Yeah.
I agree. Either party shouldn't be able to have more than the other. Because right now the Supreme Court is just packed with a bunch of Republicans, so Biden can't get passed no new laws unless the Republicans see it beneficial to them, basically. So I said it before, it's like he's president, but he's a president with a leash on him. He can't go that far. He can't do much.
No,
His power,
president is really a leader.
his power is restricted by a lot.
Because even if they want to pass a law, they have to go to Capitol Hill and they have to discuss and then they have to debate and then they can't really say, hey, this is the law now, we change it now. Yeah, it's a long discussion about and debates and all this. And
Yeah.
then different states have different laws and different lines have been drawn and all of that. It's politics is a mess. It's a hot mess.
It is. And I kind of don't want to talk about the whole politics thing no more. Hopefully, the people them get them head out of them ass and start act right. You know. I mean,
But
go ahead.
it's just that hopefully everybody just has sense in the long run. But yeah,
Yeah,
what else you have going on?
not much. I wanted to, close on a different note and talk about something else. But I think I'll just leave that for next week's episode and we'll open with that thought that I have. Let's talk about something else though, like how you been doing? Like feeling alright? Everything good with you on your side of the world?
Everything is good, man. Everything is hot. Typhoon warning for the last 3 days. You know, it's just one of those things. You know. Been indoors. It's hot. It's windy. It's hot still. I don't understand how, but it is.
It's a lot of dry heat.
Yeah.
Like globally, like it's a lot of dry heat. You know, so check the weather today in Florida. It's like 87 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost 90. It's like really hot.
Iron.
Yeah,
Jeez.
87 degrees Fahrenheit in Florida, and probably worse in a place like Nevada, Texas. For the other state, the name it's like a desert.
Vegas.
Arizona. Vegas is a state. Vegas is a city in Nevada. So Arizona, Nevada, Texas, a lot of dry heat. Jamaica, where I get a bit of dry heat as well. But you know, we surrounded by the Caribbean Sea, so it should be cool once you go outside. But if you're inside, God help you. God help you.
So yeah. So you know I'm in China, and I saw this story on Twitter, right? So China father cries after tutoring son daily for 1 year, and he scores a 6 out of 100 for a math exam.
Father is stupid.
If he were, so the story just continues to say that a father child ended up crying and dying.
What?
Crying and drying, sorry. Dried his own tears as his son gave his math tuition for 1 year. Tuition for 1 year.
Tutoring.
Tuition is what they have.
Okay.
Only for the child to get 6 out of 100 marks in the final mathematics examination, right? There's a video of him crying. There's a video of him crying on Weibo, which is their
Twitter?
equivalent of WhatsApp. Basically. There's
Oh,
also
WhatsApp.
their website thing. So
So I guess
in 23,
not all
the
Asians
father
are good
was
at math.
crying. That's the thing, right? People are wonder because the father was crying, the mother was dying of laughter, as if she knows something. And what they're saying is that it's weird because he always has inconsistent marks of like 40 to 50 and then 80 to 90. Sometimes it depends. So people are trying to say that he isn't stupid,
He failed on
but
purpose.
maybe, yeah, he failed on purpose as to teach his father a lesson. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, I can understand the 50 to 8, the age, the mark range, right? 50 to 40 to 50 from 80 to 90, because
Yeah,
sometimes I get those marks depending
it's
on
not
how I feel.
impossible. It's not impossible. Definitely, I've been in that situation as well.
But yeah,
It's
it's
not
just
impossible.
weird. It's not outside, it's in Henan too.
Hmm.
So it's not outside the possibility of thinking that the son just did this, failed on purpose, just to teach his father a lesson, which would be actually funny. But
Yeah.
do you think, though, that the schooling system is a question I want to ask based on this? Do you think the schooling system, having not been changed for how long has it been not changed now? Since the beginning of time, probably. No, wait, it's been changed a little bit because school started out as something to teach persons to do farm work, basically, just like the bare minimum to read and write.
Hmm.
So, do you think that schooling is the best way to learn, or do you think that it needs to evolve as to figure out how each student or how each person learns better?
Here's my take on it. It's perfect the way it is for what they want us to learn. For how they want to groom human beings for the future, it's perfect the way it is right now. And what I mean by that is that schools are designed to produce employees. And that's it. It's literally what it is. It's designed to produce employees. You go to school, you study this, you take a test, and
Mm.
they tell you that education is the key to success. If you don't have a degree, you're not going to get this job. If you don't have this much subject, you're not going to get this job. It's all about creating employees. So, for what they want to accomplish, it works perfectly fine. Um, Personally, when I look at the world and I look at successful people,
Mm-hmm.
I can count a lot of successful people. There are hundreds of successful people who made it without the level of education that society is pushing for. Meaning, they don't have no degree, they don't have a bachelor's, a master's, a doctorate, or anything like that, but they're still successful. If you look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather, or Logan Paul, or Jake Paul, or KSI, or any musician, or actors. Not to say that some of them don't get their degree afterwards, but their degree was not what made them successful. You know,
But yeah, but those are like people that found that passion, though, right?
yeah, but
You're thinking about they're like content creators, artists, singers,
look
dancers,
at
whatever, right?
school though. When you go to school, all they do is kill your passion. They don't.
Yeah,
School don't motivate kids to pursue their passion. It motivates you to
because
study and pass tests
because
and go ahead and
I
be an employee.
really liked computers before I went to UTech, and then it just became like a, it felt like a burden while I was there.
You said you really liked it before you went there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of just working with computers, doing what I was doing while I was in high school, um, just offhand, just
Mm-hmm.
like messing around with it.
Mm-hmm.
It felt fun, and then I went to UTech first semester. It felt like I was trying to pass a test, like you said, and not trying to learn other things.
Yeah, and at that point, you didn't enjoy it no more because they killed your passion for it. You just wanted to just finish this damn degree and get the hell out of there and go get a job. That's what they designed the whole school system for. And nobody can tell me that I'm wrong because you see the evidence in that every day. People graduate with degrees upon degrees and they can't get a job. And they believe that, okay, if I study a bit harder, if I get, okay, this degree, then I'm going to be able to get a job I want, and then I'm going to be able to live the life I want. Sometimes they are lucky enough, and that happens. But most time,
Mainly in the medical field.
yeah, most times it don't happen. You know, most time they get these degrees, and they end up getting a shit job just to make ends meet. And I believe everybody on the face of this earth has something that they are passionate about or that they were passionate about at some point. Some people lost sight of their dream or vision. And
Because they're chasing bills, man. Bills gotta pay.
yeah, and the school system is partly to be blamed for that, in my opinion.
So which do you think is more important then? Is it schooling, getting a degree, or is it just experience? Whether it be life experience, going to school and learning a trade, which is technically experience, but that's still like a schooling certificate thing, right? If let me put it to you this way: if you are a company, right, and you are hiring two people, in terms of education, someone has a 4 year university degree, bachelor's,
Mm-hmm.
and a master's, and then someone comes to you, they only have a high school diploma, but they've been doing whatever it is that you're hiring the person to do for the past 10 years. Which would you prioritize?
Neither, to be honest. I wouldn't prioritize neither. What I would do is um, give each of them a task related to the job. Just a short task. Or just ask them a simple question to get them thinking. So, for example, I'd ask you this question and you tell me which is right or which is wrong. Would you say the egg yolk is white or the egg yolk are white?
You just ask them and see what they answer.
Yeah, I'm asking you the question.
What?
Would you say the egg yolk is white or the egg yolk are white?
Egg yolk is white.
Exactly. That's how you'd get the job. Now, if you fall for that and you're going to tell me, oh, the egg yolk is white or the egg yolk are white, I'm not hiring you. Doesn't matter if you have a degree, doesn't matter if you have all the experience, because a lot of people have experience, but that doesn't mean that they're good at their job. They just have experience. You know, a lot of people, they have a job and they stay in the field for a long time, not because they're good at it. They're probably good at hiding from their job. You know,
I'm as good
but
at that.
doesn't mean you're good at a job, bro. And having a 4 year degree doesn't mean you're good at a job either. I think each person would have to just demonstrate to me that, okay, I'm the right fit for this job. And your degree isn't going to make me be impressed if I was your employer. What I would say is the key to success in life is to do whatever makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the most important part. Because money does not equate to happiness. And a lot of people might say, oh, but if I have money, I can buy whatever I want. But it doesn't matter what you buy. It necessarily ain't gonna make you happy. For example, let me use you as a test subject. You're making more money than you ever were when you were in Jamaica. Would you say that the more money that you have been making equates to you being a happier person now?
No, you're stressed. What do you mean? Out over here, dude. I think it's just like money doesn't buy happiness. It just provides a foundation for it. That's the thing. I think you're only truly happy when you find something to be happy for or about.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it be taking care of someone, whether or not it be providing for yourself in a certain way, whether it be living a lifestyle that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whatever you find to be happiness. If it's married with two kids in a one bedroom apartment
Mm-hmm.
somewhere out in the woods, if that's your happiness, then that's your happiness.
I agree.
It's it, it's like you can only be happy when you're happy, if that makes sense.
It does.
You can't be happy just because I have a lot of money.
Makes perfect sense. Because a lot of people with a lot of money are not happy. A lot of them commit suicide. But what I hear people say a lot about money is that, oh well, at least if I have the money, it's one less thing for me to worry about. And
Not necessarily.
I'm like, why worry? What's worrying gonna do? If you're broke, why are you gonna worry about being broke? Why are you gonna waste your energy about worrying about being broke? You worrying about being broke or can't pay your bills, it's not gonna change the fact that you're broke and can't pay your bills. What you should do is make the most of the time that you have right now. Enjoy your life for what it is. And I think that's why people, one of the reasons why we're dying so quickly, as we said earlier, life expectancy is
Stress
going
more.
down, is
Stress more.
is because we get caught up in social standards, right? Saying that
It's media, man. Social media.
it's media in a whole. It's like society is teaching us that, okay, in order for you to be successful, you need to drive this car, you need to wear this job, you need to have this kind of house, you need to have so much money in the bank account in order to be successful. But none of that really matters. None of it matters because you can die before you make that, you can die after you make that. It doesn't matter. When you die, nothing that you did on this earth truly really matters.
Really?
Unless listen, unless like you made
I'm gonna get
some
my 12 virgins.
what?
I'm not gonna get my 12 virgins.
No, what I'm saying is that it doesn't really matter unless you made a positive impact on this earth, right? Like if you left a legacy on this earth, I think that matters. Like what Martin Luther King did, what Marcus Garvey did, you know. Not to say that okay, everybody has lived a meaningless life. What I'm saying is that if you if you were able to leave a positive impact on this earth, whether it's in one person's life or maybe a dog's life, it doesn't matter. If you were able to make one positive impact on this earth, I think that matters more than any amount of money you could have made. Because the money ain't gonna come with you, and when you're gone, the money, it really has no use to you. Maybe your family
Yeah,
get it,
spend that. Yeah.
but knowing that you can change somebody's life or you can make somebody's life better, with your influence, I think that goes a long way. So it's about a legacy, and it's partly why I decided to start this podcast, because I'm like, okay, if it's even in the next 10 years from now, if one person listens to one of these episodes and something that I say or you say change your life for the better, I think that's a good thing, because once YouTube or whichever platform we decide to put this on in the future still exists, then even after we're gone, everything that we've done here will still be here. And I think that's the great thing with art on a whole. That's how I'd classify it. It's an art form, whether it's music, podcast, or radio show, TV show, movie. you know, yeah, I think those things mean a lot more than the money that we keep chasing. Because
Yeah.
you worrying about being broke, bro, ain't gonna stop you from being broke. Go out, enjoy the freaking sun on your skin. Enjoy when it rains. Just take life for what it is and just make the most of it. I think that's the best we can do.
Take a walk.
Yeah, take a walk, drink a lot of water, Just something, to think about. Food for thought. Food for thought. And I think we're gonna end it on that note for this week. I think this was a really good episode. Any closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
Um, the other thing is just basically okay. Still raining here and stopping. It's weird. Um, there was this. I think I can actually just like a short ass thing. There was this YouTuber that died of cancer recently.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Um, he played Minecraft, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember his name.
I don't remember his name. I think he was 23. They said.
Technoblade. Yeah. He had cancer. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. My condolences to the family and all that. I never really watched him, but cancer is cancer. Dude. That's just why is that still a thing?
Uh-huh. We both know the answer to that, bro.
But yeah.
We both know the answer why cancer is so thing. Like, so thing because it makes money. And these people care about their money. It's more profitable to treat a disease than to cure it. It's not that they can't. It's just gonna cut a lot of money out of the medical system.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Condolences to the family and the Minecraft community for their losses. Yeah. I wasn't necessarily a fan, but it's always sad to see someone, pass at that young of a 23, bro.
Yeah.
I'm 28. Shit.
Yeah, I'm 26. So yeah, definitely condolence to the family. Hope y'all staying strong. To his fans, supporters, community, condolences to all of y'all. I guess we can pick up on that topic next week and can talk a bit more about it. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do for this week's episode of Inside Everybody. Thank you to every one of you who stopped by and listened. And I can't wait to make future episodes and give my insight on what is going on in the world. Until next time, guys, stay safe, drink your water, and go for walks. Peace.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, peace, bro.